So in one of the videos I put out recently, I hung up all these Physalis virginiana, these Virginia Groundcherries, to kind of get the leaves off them, let them frost up a little, which makes them sweeter. And they're pretty much ready to harvest. So I'm going to put all of them into this dirty container, and that's not going to matter because I have to peel them out of these husks and then wash them, and then I'm going to make jam out of them. So this is all of our pre-cleaned fruit now. That took probably about, I don't know, 10-15 minutes to do all of them, maybe 20. Kind of zoned out, just pre-husked. Lots of stems in here that still need to come off, obviously all the husks. Now I noticed there was quite a lot of bug damage and that actually larger plants had less fruit. So I'm not sure what that's about, but I definitely see why the cultivated varieties are so much more preferred, because it's a lot easier to have the fruit be noticeably ripe, as well as easier to harvest because they just fall right on the ground. Whereas these, they don't tend to fall on the ground as much, despite being called ground cherries. But yeah, that's literally what we're gonna have in here. So this is probably gonna be reduced to about a third of what it is. And we can take this down. And because it's available, I actually accidentally ripped this out of the ground. We have some pycnanthemum here. Now, I do like a good mint jelly, and actually pycnanthemums are some of the best ones to do that. I'm just pulling the seed heads off now so that they can kind of spread a little bit. But yeah, they smell really good, so we're going to make 2 batches, I think, if we have enough. One with a little bit of Pycnanthemum tenuifolium tea in it. That's narrow leaf mountain mint. And one without, just to kind of see if they do anything interesting. Well, this is going to be my life for probably about the next hour. Just going to be pulling the fruit out of here, pulling these husks open, and putting them in this container. And I actually have a thing of trash right next to me. So as soon as I have these all husked up, you just throw it right in the trash. Now, the bug damage that I was actually noticing was a lot of holes in the calyxes, the husks, and as well as in the fruit like this. So I'm not going to be using those. They're probably fine to use, but my guess would be that it is some sort of wasp that parasitizes the fruit, which is perfectly fine, but obviously I'm losing fruit to that. It's likely some sort of native parasitic wasp, just like what you would find with like oak galls and things like that. There's a pretty good example of the kind of damage that it looks like on the husk. It's just a almost perfectly circular hole in the fruit, which kind of brings up a couple other topics that I wanted to talk about. Because this is actually a wild fruit, you should practice safe things. So safe practices, that is. So I'm actually losing a lot of fruit because the fruit, I'm deeming it not ripe. So like, here's a perfect example that's really, really green. Now, it might be fine because tomatillos, you eat those green. You eat those before they're ripe, but you have to cook them. These plants are in the family Solanaceae, which has quite a few very, very toxic members. These are, I believe, more closely related to like a tomato, but you're not going to want to eat, you know, tomato leaves or something like that, because you're going to get pretty sick. So I'm going to play it safe, and anything that's really, really overly green, I'm just not going to use. That's a very tiny little fruit right there. But that does bring me back around again to why this probably isn't a very common crop. This is a lot of effort to do for just a pretty small fruit. But it's worth it to me. This is actually an even smaller one. One of my all-time favorite fruits. Now, Aunt Molly is what people more commonly think of when they talk about ground cherries and growing ground cherries, and that's just pretty common here in the US. There's a few others. I believe ground cherries were actually domesticated in the Netherlands, which is a bit strange because I believe they are exclusively a North American fruit. So somewhere along the line, someone found these because someone probably in the Americas was growing them. It's a tiny one, very orange. And they imported it into Europe. And that's how we got Aunt Molly Groundcherries. Now, Aunt Molly Groundcherries are also kind of popular with the Amish. If I remember correctly, I actually usually find seeds for sale at like Amish greenhouses and things like that, but I rarely ever find any of them growing the fruit, which is a bit strange to me, but you know, I don't know that much. That last clip was at like 1:46 or something, and I pretty much just got done with these. These need washed. It's 3:46. Took me 2 hours just to shuck these, so hopefully this is worth it. I'll make sure that the results are at the end of the video. So this is a good time to tell you to subscribe, because this is actually really fun for me, and I hope you're kind of enjoying how this process is going. Hopefully it's coming across pretty well. Make sure you subscribe, like, comment. Thank you. Now we gotta do the cooking. I just realized, yeah, I've been eating these along the way. Alright, so according to this, 1 pouch, it should be for 2 quarts for a cooked recipe, 7 cups of sugar, which makes 8 cups of whatever I'm making. I strained all my ground cherries, and we're gonna see how much I can get out of here. Now, according to that thing, I have to add the berries and the sugar, bring that to a boil, so I'll probably dissolve that in probably put a little water in this, I don't know. But let's see what we can get out of this. 2, 3, 4. So that's 1 quart, which means it's like 1.5 quarts. Now, because this is only 1.5 quarts, I'm not sure what that means for the actual yield off of this, but I'm going to be putting it into these 2 jars. So first things first, I'm gonna get the sugar into here. Need to clean this out. So we need 7 cups of sugar. That's a lot of sugar. I'm just honestly gonna freaking eyeball this. Well, I might need a bigger pot, I don't know. That's 2 cups of sugar. That seems like a lot of sugar to be putting into this. Maybe it'll make more sense if I just kind of mix it up. No? That's still looking like really a lot. I wonder what these taste like. Really good. Let me see if I can get a bigger pot, honestly. 1/3 cup of sugar. I'm gonna put some water in this. Like warm water. Call that good. I do know that I want to put water in it because I think these are going to caramelize pretty quickly. I'm not sure though. Gonna have to see what that does. I will be using this other pot with all the sugar in it. That's the 4th cup of sugar, 5th cup of sugar, 6th. Wonder, did this say if I had needed to add water? Oh. No, doesn't say if I need to add water or not. I have to check how many things of sugar I just put in there. Alright, 7th cup sugar, it's our magic number. A little under, probably a get like a 1/4 cup in there. Okay, so that's all our sugar in there. Now we need to bring it to a boil. And I wonder if I have a masher somewhere because I really should. I'm trying to dissolve this sugar before we... This is already turning to practically a syrup. Before the pectin's even in there. Guess that's why you use pectin sugar, but I don't have pectin sugar. So this needs to come up to a boil, which means I need to keep stirring this. And until that gets to a boil, I'm going to try and find a smasher. Actually, while this is coming up to a boil, I'm going to take our Pycnanthemum tenuifolium and boil that into a tea, which this will make way more tea than I actually need. So this will just go in there like this. It's hot water already, so it should boil quickly. I don't know how quickly this is going to boil. But basically, I'll just be adding that after I start getting stuff into the jars. And like I said, we'll come back once these things start boiling. Okay, so our Pycnanthemum here, that's coming to a boil. I'm just kind of waiting for the water to turn like a slightly yellowish greenish color. It's definitely turning a green color at the moment. The leaves are getting really wilted. And once it starts turning a little yellow, yep, turn that off. Because I'm not trying to cook the leaves so much as I am just trying to bring out those flavors. I don't want to destroy those. And this smells really nice like menthol. With a little bit of a bitter kind of green aftertaste, like a green tea. But better, because it's Pycnanthemum tenuifolium. These still not come to a boil yet. Just been mixing them, making sure that that sugar's really good and dissolved, which it looks like it is. Now I'm just kind of waiting for the fruit to soften up a little more so that I can start mashing them, because otherwise I might scratch this pot all up. Yep, our tea's looking good, so that's going to have to come back down to room temperature and stuff like that, and it'll steep as it's doing that. I'm not too worried about how it's still boiling and stuff. It'll be alright. This is starting to steam now too. See if it starts boiling. Not yet. So this is starting to boil now, actually faster than I was anticipating. I'm going to turn the heat back a bit, start getting these mashed up. I don't know how fine I want to go with them. I feel like you're supposed to like strain these a certain way or something, but we're going whole fruits on this. Yeah, I kind of got to bring it off of this heat a bit. Yeah, really crank that back. So I definitely don't want it to come to a full boil just yet. I want to get these broken up. And I'll just be doing this for a little bit. Alright, so I think that's about as mashed up as I'm going to be able to get it. So, kind of want to reduce it a little bit more. That doesn't mean we need to be on high, because it will start to caramelize. And I think it might have already a little bit. But hopefully that's okay. Not sure. So I'll reduce this a bit, and then I'll be adding my pectin. The aroma that's coming off of these is like extremely tropical. Like I always say, they kind of smell like and taste mango-y. That's what I'm getting off of this. Honestly, I think I'm gonna have to call that good. Yeah, I'm gonna call that good. So I just need to rinse the jars out. I got 3 here. Well, actually, I need to add my pectin. Duh. I don't know when you're supposed to add it. I don't know. I'm just kind of like making decisions, not knowing what I'm doing. I'm probably the first person to make a actual jelly out of this in a very long time. Might be the first on YouTube, I don't know. I'd have to check. I didn't check. But we're gonna find out. I have no idea if this is supposed to be Jello-like, or if I was able to do that. Okay, we'll mix that in now. More mixing. Is this supposed to be at a boil? I don't know. Turn the heat back on just in case. I definitely feel like it smells like it's caramelizing. Not super appetizing looking either, I'll say that. I might have added too much water to this. I have no idea. We'll find out at some point. I feel like not a whole lot at the bottom of this, other than sugar. There's no instructions on adding water. Maybe I wasn't even supposed to add water. I don't think I was. Oh well. Call it poverty jelly. Oh, by the way, I'm technically making a fridge freezer jelly thing, so I'm not sealing these jars or not. This is definitely caramelizing. I can smell it. So what to do? I don't know. guess I'm just gonna start scooping in there. Let me get a ladle. There we go. You're gonna explode in my hands? That would suck. Oh man, these are gonna be sticky if I do it like that. So yeah, I guess I'll keep getting it in there. It ain't looking great, to be honest here, folks. Definitely messed something up here along the way. Actually, seems to be evening out pretty well. There's a lot of seeds in here, though. It is mostly seeds. I think that's how much you fill those up. So this will go in the fridge real quick. Actually, I just thought about it. I feel like I kind of want to let it cool down out in the air. I don't know. Glass scares me. Glass definitely scares me. Well, we'll do the next one here. So this will be like my shareable one or something. Yeah, we definitely had a lot more fruit chunks in that first one. This one's mostly seeds. So obviously we got that juice and that sugar's in there. So whatever's left is what I'm going to be adding. I'm sure you can hear the dog clickety-clacking it around. What are you doing, dog? Alright, so this will be the last one here. Man, I made such a mess. It's okay. Cleaning is easy enough. So, and I don't care if my tea or whatever's left tastes like the ground cherry a little bit. And it'll let me kind of get a feel for the flavor. Get a good amount of it in here, I think. This is actually a sort of based on a wineberry recipe, which is one of my favorite things to forage. It's wineberries. I feel like there's probably not going to be enough pectin in this for its setup. But I don't know. I didn't think that far ahead. I really need a funnel, but for some reason we don't use funnels around here. I have too much. Might have to spread this out more into them other jars. Yeah, you kind of spread this out into these other ones. Even though this is mostly water and seeds down here. Definitely made plenty of dishes. Alright, that's like all seeds in there except for that. Now I'll kind of let these cool down and they'll go in the fridge. In the meantime, I can get this wiped down. Now, I'm sure I'm going to commit some type of faux pas for somebody here about cleaning this while the stove's hot, but I mean, it's a stove. Come on now. And we'll kind of let them cool down. We'll come back, see what's happening. Actually, I'm going to pour myself a cup of tea. Why do I keep forgetting about that? Cup of tea. Put it in this beer drinking glass because I ain't picky. Now, usually I'd rather drink this cold, but it's a hot day out, or cold day out actually. Yeah. Kind of looks like a certain bodily fluid, but it's good, I swear. If you don't believe that I'm actually going to drink it. And it's honestly pretty similar to like a spearmint tea, like a field mint even. It's something that's a little more common around here in the Amish country. Don't go anywhere just yet. Once it's set up tomorrow, I'm going to try it plain, and if it's any good, I'm going to try making a recipe using brie cheese with it. Alright, so just pulled it out of the fridge. A little bit runny, but that's okay. It's a fridge freezer thing. And you can see there's a very clear separation there. I guess that's okay. Let's give it a taste. A lot of seeds. Definitely a little concerned about that, but that's okay. So, super tropical tasting. Kind of mangoey, no tomatoey flavor in it at all. Absolutely delicious. Probably, it's got to be one of the best things I've ever made from the garden or anything like that. We're going to make a baked brie. So I'll get that set up. So I just double checked that the oven is actually empty, and I'm preheating it to 350. And then it's going to go into there for like 12 to 15 minutes or something like that. I don't have parchment paper right now, so I'm going to have to spray this down with some oil. And then we're going to have to prep the brie cheese, but I'm going to wait until this is preheated. Alright, we're up to temperature now. So I'm going to take this brie cheese out of here. I love brie cheese, by the way. It's one of my favorite things to eat. It's just wonderful. I think I'm going to do this side because that side's prettier. So basically, just have to score the surface. And supposedly this lets the jelly into there. Then I can pull this off of there. I'll take this handy little thing here. This might do nothing, I have no idea. But we're doing it anyway. Then we can take our cheese, put that on there. And honestly, yeah. This is what I'm going to do. Yeah, more even. That looks good enough. So then we just need to pop it into the oven for 12 to 15 minutes. Alright, open up the oven here. Take our brie into the oven. And then Alexa, set alarm for 13 minutes. Go right in the middle.
13-minute alarm set for 10:36 a.m.
Okay. While we're waiting on that, I'm gonna cut up some bananas to have with this and toast a bagel. Because I think that just sounds wonderful. I think that's what I want for breakfast here at almost 11 o'clock. Yeah, I'm making it pointlessly nice looking. I like it. It tastes good. I want to enjoy this. So, I'm just going to make it needlessly complicated. I just realized I don't have my microphone on, so if you're wondering why the audio sounds a little bit different, it's just the phone microphone. Alright, I got my microphone on now. We're just gonna toast up this bagel. Not sure how much is left on this timer. Alexa, how much more time on my timer?
There are no timers set. You have one alarm going off in 6 minutes.
Okay. That's all right then. Thank you. Toast this up because this should be done in 6 minutes, so we'll cut to when it's done. I actually decided that I do want some butter on this. Now, if you have a problem with how much butter I put on here, keep it to yourself, okay? I like butter. Butter's good. It's probably bad for me, I'm sure. But you know what? It'll be okay. Okay? It's fine. It's fine. You know, everything's fine if you say it's fine. So that's our butter. Let that melt up. Man, you can't see in there as good as I thought, but it looks not quite done. So the alarm went off. I think I'm going to give it another 3 or 4 minutes. All right, I'm going to pull it out. Calling it done. Try not to bump the tripod here. Okay, first impressions. Looks like I lost a lot of the stuff. Definitely caramelized there. Let's see. There we go. Let's see. We're going to take this and we're going to put it on the plate because I don't want to waste it. I want to actually see if it is worth anything. It's almost candied. I'm ruining my presentation doing this. Oh well. You know, not trying to waste nothing, especially when it took me all this time to do. Let's pull this up. Ooh. Yeah. Yeah, that's something. Put it on the plate. Nice. Okay. Clean this up a bit, maybe. Yeah, it basically turned into like, I don't know, rock candy. Let's go get this to the table, see what it's like. Well, actually, let me just kind of... Funny. Okay. Let's cut her open, see what it's like. Oh, you don't really cut it, I guess. Kind of get some of that rind there, some of the goop. A little bit of fruit. Wonder how hot it is. Let's maybe not touch it. We'll get some banana in there. And some banana. Let's see what it is. Would I make this again? Probably not. But you know what? This is going to be a good breakfast for me. It's maybe not the best use of this jam. Probably just on some bread or a bagel would be better. But you know what? I spent the money. I spent the time. So I'm going to eat it. And I want to thank you for watching. This will be the end of the video. And I hope you have a good day.